morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I want to get started this morning in our conversations on CARICOM. And so joining us this morning as we break down the Prime Minister's budget speech as it relates to CARICOM is Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comissiong. Ambassador Comissiong, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Pleasure to be here.
Just last week, the Prime Minister would have delivered her budget speech in Parliament, and it was quite wide-ranging, and it was almost revolutionary. But in that, she talked a lot about some issues as it relates to CARICOM and how Barbados seeks to address it. I want to discuss with you this morning a few things that came up. For instance, the whole idea of the development of a tissue culture lab to spur trade in agricultural products. What can you say to us about that?
Well, I would like to actually quote the Prime Minister's words, and this is what she said. Mr. Speaker, 15.3 million to the Ministry of Agriculture for the construction of a new tissue culture laboratory for us to ensure that we can provide the clean planting material and continue to do the research that's necessary so that once again we become an exporter of key products like sweet potatoes and peppers. And she went on to say that she's going to be holding the Minister of Agriculture accountable for increasing Barbados's food exports. And she made the point that this new tissue culture laboratory is going to complement the food terminal that is going to be constructed at Lears as a joint project between government and the private sector. So this is a very important development. The tissue culture laboratory really is going to enhance the capacity of Barbados to produce the best planting material so that we can improve the stock of products like sweet potato, peppers, etc. And this coheres with CARICOM's 25 by 25 initiative, where we are seeking to reduce our extra-regional food import bill by 25% by the year 2025. And Barbados is going to play a big part in that, because once we get the food terminal established at Lears, that's a 7-acre site, Barbados will then become a hub for fresh produce coming in from places like Guyana and Suriname, being re-exported to other areas of the region. But what the Prime Minister is saying is not only will we be receiving produce from other CARICOM countries, that we are going to enhance our own capacity to add to that production locally. So very important, Pearson.
And almost tangentially, it also approaches the whole subject of non-communicable diseases by what we eat. Because if we can eat better, then we can better able to tackle some of those issues as well, from a health perspective.
Yes, that's a big issue for Barbados. It's estimated that some 80% of our health budget is tied to diabetes and other non-communicable diseases. So yes, diet is a big part of the prevention equation.
Mm-hmm. Now, she also talked about, the Prime Minister, the doubling of the numbers in the Construction Gateway program to train skilled workers who can work in Barbados and across the CARICOM as well. And I know we started that with our teachers, but to be able now to announce, and the budget is something we hold the government to. So that means that it's an intention of the government to be able to do so, to broaden that gateway.
Yes. Well, what she's referring to here is really the artisanal skill component of the CARICOM Skill Nationals program. You know, we have this ambition to radically increase the amount of houses built in Barbados. In fact, the government says that they have a target of 10,000 new houses. They said that at the last election. And they made the point that if that is going to happen, it's going to call for a lot more construction workers, people with skills as, you know, masons and carpenters and welders and electrical wiremen. And so they have started this new training program. The Prime Minister is saying in this speech that they while they're satisfied, what they've done so far, but they recognize that they have to double the number of Bajans in this program, training in artisanal skills. And the point she is making is that once they acquire these skills, not only will they be able to seek and acquire employment in Barbados, but they will be equipped to get their CARICOM skills certificate and to seek employment all across the region. And she pointed specifically to Guyana, where with the new oil and gas industry and the overall development that is spurring in Guyana, it is anticipated that there's going to be a construction boom in Guyana and that there's going to be a great demand for these skills. So to me, this is very important. Yes, this is precisely what we want. We want Barbadians to take full advantage of this CARICOM skill nationals program. And one of the key areas is the area of artisans. But you must be trained to the level of at least a level 1 CVQ, or Caribbean Vocational Qualification.
To do that, travel, however, is important. And she also approached that in the budget as well. I know she talked a little bit, the Prime Minister, about reducing the tariff on intra-regional travel and also opening up the possibility for more linkages throughout the region. Can you break that down for us from the budget speech, the whole question of intra-regional travel?
Well, she brought some very good news because we have been really struggling over the last couple of years with intra-regional travel. Since LIAT basically collapsed, there's been a crisis in travel within the region. And I guess the good news she's bringing is that the other small Caribbean airlines seem to be stepping up to the plate. And so she mentioned that the Minister of Tourism and the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. has been working with these small airlines to boost travel from the Caribbean into Barbados. And she had good news that whether it's Air Antilles, it's Caribbean Airlines, it's the Inter-Caribbean Airline, that they will be doubling and quadrupling the amount of travel, the amount of seats, the amount of flights into Barbados from St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Grenada, St. Vincent, Guyana, and she said even as far away as Jamaica. So she said that there's likely to be an additional 37,800 seats from coming into Barbados from various parts of the region. And the BTMI is expected to work with the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association to capitalize on this intra-Caribbean tourism market. And then she went on to do something that is very, very important within this. This is the 50th anniversary year of CARICOM, and governments across the region are looking at ways in which we could, in a positive way, mark and commemorate this 50th anniversary year. And the Prime Minister has said that this year, for 6 months, the last 6 months of this year, Barbados will reduce the taxes on inter-Caribbean airline tickets by 47%. And indeed, that word has gone out across the CARICOM. And I know folk at the CARICOM Secretariat are hoping that this will be replicated by other governments as a 50th anniversary commemorative gesture. So that's going to happen. From the beginning of July to December of this year, there's going to be that 47% reduction in taxes, Barbados government taxes on inter-Caribbean airline tickets.
That is fantastic news, I must tell you. I have the thirst to travel. Can't wait for that to come into play. So I too myself can get onto that Inter-Caribbean Airlines. But what's this about the establishment of a green-blue investment bank? What is that?
Well, this is perhaps the biggest development that she announced. 2 years ago when we were getting ready to go to COP in Scotland, the Barbados government invited to Barbados the director of the UN's Green Climate Fund,
Hmm.
which is headquartered in South Korea, and we took the opportunity, to make good contact with the Green Climate Fund and to get them to buy into the idea that we could establish a blue-green investment bank right here in Barbados that will service not only Barbados but the Eastern Caribbean. And we've been working on it over the past 2 years. People like Professor Avinash Prasad, he's had a big role in helping to bring it to fruition. And the Prime Minister announced that we are on the verge of actually establishing the bank. That the work right now, the work is going on with the Green Climate Fund, and the firm expectation is there that the Green Climate Fund is going to invest $30 million in equity, not a loan to Barbados. This is actually the money they are going to put into Barbados's Blue Green Investment Bank. The Barbados government is going to put in £20 million, and she made the point that several other multilateral organizations, the Caribbean Development Bank, the Inter-American Development Bank, and even the IMF, through their new Resilience and Sustainability Fund, they have all indicated that they want to invest equity, they want to put money into a Barbados-based blue-green investment bank. And so the Prime Minister said that during the course of this year, we can look forward to the establishment of this bank in Barbados with a capital base of $100 million and with a lending capacity of $500 million. So this will be money that will be available to do all kinds of projects that are associated with green development. Whether it is projects in renewable energy, whether it is projects in making homes more resilient to hurricanes, whether it is in projects dealing with beach erosion. But this is very good news, Pearson, and this is a tribute to us. This is a tribute to Barbados, that we are not simply victims. We are not victims of circumstances or asking other people to do things for us or to finance us. We have actually taken the initiative. We are going to set up our own banking institution capable of deploying $500 million, not only to help Barbados, but also to help our Eastern Caribbean brothers and sisters.
This is fantastic news. Again, CARICOM at work. Ambassador, we have to leave it there. We're out of time. But thank you so much for joining us this morning to help us better understand how, from the budget, Barbados is truly showing its commitment to the development of CARICOM, not just for the peoples of the region, but for the people of Barbados as well. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
My pleasure, Pearson. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Indeed so.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning.